Today we're on the Big Flats, Texas map where we're going to build a dairy farm. Now most people don't think of Texas as being a big dairy producer, but Texas is the 5th largest dairy producing state in the country. Now here's a look at the starting farm we have in new farmer mode. And you can see we've got a couple of nice little storage buildings, actually a couple big storage buildings, some flat bottom bins, a few other pieces of equipment, and a nice little farmhouse. But what we don't have here are any animal pens. There is, however, another area that we do not own, and this is where we're going to build our dairy farm. Now you can see that this is more of a beef cattle farm with all these beef cattle pens, some support structures, silos. There's no farmhouse here. But what we're going to do is transform this into our dairy farm. Hello and welcome to the Farm Bubba channel, where we help you learn all you need to have fun in Farming Simulator 22. Be sure to check out the Farm Bubba channel homepage for more videos, and while you're there, please subscribe to the channel and ring the notification bell to be notified when a new video is posted. Please leave a comment below to let us know what you think of this video and give us ideas for future videos. Alright then, let's get going. As a reminder, I am playing on PC and using mods that are available on the Mod Hub. If you're playing on a console, you may or may not have access to some of the mods that we use here today. Now, we usually start off by selling a lot of the buildings and equipment to generate some cash to work with. But what we're going to do today is sell off most of the equipment, but we're going to leave all of these farm buildings here just in case we want to build this farm up as maybe a neighboring farm at some point in the future. Now, just as a reminder, before we start making any changes on our map here, we want to be sure and turn off our autosave interval. And for our time scale, we want to turn that time scale down as far as we can. Now, I have a mod called Easy Development Controls, where I can turn my time all the way down to 0. As we make changes to our map, we want to make sure that we come back in and do a save as we make changes, so that if we make a mistake, we can exit without saving, come back into the map, and we will be able to pick up right where we left off. So in new farmer mode, we start off with $100,000, but what we're going to do now is go into our menu here and sell off some of these items that we own. All right, now we've got a little over $1 million. One more thing we can do for a little bit more money is go ahead and sell off this other field down here, field number 3. So here we are at the property that we're going to work with, but the first thing we need to do is buy this property. It is worth $76,630. We're going to go ahead and buy that. Now that we own it, we can go in here and sell a few of these things that we're not going to use. So we go back in our construction menu, over to demolish, and we're going to get rid of this silo. We're going to get rid of that small garage, this other silo here, that silo there. We're going to get rid of this storage building here. And now when it comes to these animal pens here, these are worth about $25,000 each, so we're going to sell these off. And now we're up to $2.3 million. Now all of these fences need to be taken down also. And they are a little bit more time consuming, because you're going to have to hit each individual piece here. But you can, if you're using a gaming mouse, you can hold your mouse down and just scroll down towards the bottom of all these fences and just eliminate all of them. You're not going to get any money for them, because you never do get money for taking the fence out. But we're going to go ahead and take all of these out. All right, we got all the fences taken out. That was quite a bit of work. And what I do see here are a few collectibles. So let's go ahead and collect those while we're at it. Get a little bit of extra cash here. These are $2,500 a piece. All right, I found 5 collectibles in there, so we collected a little bit of extra money there. But now that we've got everything eliminated from our property, before we start building, let's go in and do a save. That way, if I mess anything up here in the next few minutes, I'll be able to go back in and pick up where I left off. So the next thing I want to do is go into our construction menu here, over to landscaping and painting, and select this grass here, because we want to cover up all of these places that are not grass. So get a bigger target here, and let's just paint this whole area. We're going to go right next to the field here. We're going to get into the field just a little bit with our cow pastures, but we will touch all of that up a little bit later. But right now we want to go right to the edge, of our field here. Just do the best you can. We can always fix everything. That's the beauty of the game. Any mistakes you make, you can go in and fix them up without a big deal. So let's just go ahead and paint all of this area here, this green grass. Now we'll go into plants. Go all the way over here. The thing I really like about this particular map is that in addition to the regular meadow grass that we're given in most maps, which looks like this, we also have these other grasses here. I have several different heights of grasses here. There's a dry grass, looks like this. Then there's a medium grass that looks like that. And then there's a short, small grass that looks like that. This short grass is the grass we're going to have in our cow pasture. And this medium grass is what we're going to have everywhere else on our farm. So let's go in here and lay down a layer of our grass. Here again, we're going to go right up to the edge of our field. If we get into the field just a little bit, it's not that big a deal. We'll fix it. All right, I think that's got it. Now if we go into our animal menu, over to cows, these 3 cow barns here will let us use these pasture extensions to build a big pasture. There is a trick to using these particular cow barns. When you place one, you want to be sure and add your pasture extension at the same time you do that, because these pasture extensions will be keyed to the particular barn that you just put in. So if we take this pasture extension and place it right back here, you'll get the message as to which cow barn you want to attach this to. That's why we do these one at a time. This is cow barn 1, and we're extending the field around cow barn 1. So now we want to put our other cow barn over here, kind of line it up a little bit, make sure that it's straight. Pull it way back over here because we need to do some work in between these two. We don't want to get too close to the road though. So that looks about right. So now when we place our second extension here, we get this message here. Select a pasture to extend. We hit our plus sign. We get cow barn 2, which is where we are right here. Now we say OK. So the reason we want to do those one at a time is that this cow barn takes 80 cows by itself. This pasture extension that we put on here, which is a 50 by 50, gives us an additional 50 cows. And if all of these pastures were attached to one, then they would be producing milk and manure at a greater pace than this other one here. So we want them both to be even. But what we're going to do is go back in here in the middle and put another pasture in here that's going to actually have to go to one or the other unless we put a couple of narrow ones in here and split them up. You just have to work with the different size pastures that are here. So we're going to put one in through here. We'll go ahead and attach it to cow barn number 1. And then we're just going to run with that. So let's do an incremental save before we mess anything else up. Okay, so now if I mess this next thing up, we can always just exit without saving, come back in and pick up where we left off. What we want to do now is put some fencing in here. But before we put our fencing in, we need to know the boundaries of these pasture extensions. So if we go back into Animals, into Pasture Extensions, just select any one of these pasture extensions and then click back out of it, and you will see where all of our pasture extensions are. So now we can go into decorations, into fences, come over to our white fence here. Start right here on the corner. Let's come out just a little bit because we've got this pasture extension is out through here. Come right about to the end here. Now let's run all the way across. We'll get it there, and we'll come all the way back in here. Let's go ahead and run another section of fence across these two. So now that the fence is in, you can see that we have 3 different types of grasses. This little patch of grass here came with our cow barn, and that's the grass that we want. That's that real short grass. This is a grass that we planted, which is a little bit taller, but we went ahead and planted all of it because we want the tall grass out through some of these other areas here. And in this grass is our actual grass field that is growing grass that we can mow and turn into hay or silage or whatever we want. First thing we need to do is take care of this grass in the field here. Now, underneath the field is going to be a dirt color and not this green grass. So we want to put green grass underneath here. We're going to get a big target because we're going to have a little bit of a border back here. So what we're going to do is change all of this to this regular green. And we'll just go ahead and run it off all the way across there. Now there's a couple of smaller areas over here. We'll just make all of that grass there. Got a little spot here. Another little spot here. And another spot over here. Now what we can do is go in here and put all of this nice short grass. So we'll go into plants, all the way over here to this short grass. Got a gigantic target, and we're just going to plant all of that short grass all over this field. We just want all this grass to be the same. And as you can see, we've got the same grass through the entire pasture now. We want to touch this pasture up just a little bit with a little bit of dirt. Your smallest round target and your dirt color here. And let's just do some little cow paths in through here. Around all of these places where cows would be coming in and out. You can add as much or as little of this effect as you want, just to suit your taste. Now, I'm not the most artistic person in the world, but I think this looks a little better, more realistic. Next thing I want to add here is a place to collect manure. Now, I'm hoping that between these two barns, if we place our manure plate right in here somewhere, that it will collect manure from both barns. I haven't tested that yet, but I guess we'll find out a little bit later. So what we need to do is knock out a little bit of this fence. So let's go into our demolish menu here, and let's just take out a few of these sections of fence, and we'll tie them back in here in just a minute. Let's put our manure plate right in here somewhere. Go back into our fencing here, and let's cover this gap up, something like that. Hopefully it'll work like it's supposed to. Next thing I want to put in here is a flat bottom bin. I've checked this silo against the other two conveyors previously to make sure that this one would work, because there are a lot of different size flat bottom bins, and you have to get one that's the right height and the right width in order to work with the conveyor systems that you have. So we're going to put this one right here. Next thing I want is a place to store bales. This particular shed right here will hold 450 pieces. We're going to place it right about there. If you go into our production menu under factories, I found a little TMR mixer that will come in handy, and we're going to put it right over about here. I want to have enough space because the loadout point is in the back, and I want to be able to put a road along the back side of it there. And the next thing I want to do is clear out a little space over here because I'm going to add a little feature here that I've not put on any other map. Go into my painting menu, and this is the same gravel that's around the rest of the map here. I'm going to clear a space out through here, about that big. Going to animals and cows and down here to these little calf huts. As our cows give birth to calves out on the pasture, we will relocate those calves into these little huts. The first stages of their life, they need to be separated from the rest of the cows. And then when they're ready to join the rest of them, then we'll transfer them back out into the main cow pasture. We also want to put a little bit of a fence around them. And there we have our little calf hut pen. Next thing we need is a nice little farmhouse. It's back in our construction menu, over to farmhouses. And let's put a nice little farmhouse in here. We're going to use this house right here and put it right there. I'm also going to put a little garage. Next thing I want to do is put a fence all the way across the property. I like to make it all in one long stretch. And then as I change gravel paths in and out of the property, I will cut out sections of the fence and work around it. So we'll go into our paint menu and we'll paint a bunch of grass across here. And we're going to use this medium grass to grass over everything. So here we are with the finished product. We've gone in and added some cows, obviously. Done a little bit more landscaping. We've put in our gravel paths. Add a little bit more grassy areas here. A couple more little landscaping objects there. The little landscaping around our manure pit here also. And a little bit more landscaping around our house. Added some gravel paths, some trees, a few shrubs, a little bit of flowers. So there we have our dairy farm on Big Flats, Texas. Just like with all of our other videos, these are just examples of what you can do with your farm. Make the changes that you want, use your artistic abilities to fashion your farm to fit your style of gameplay. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Be sure and visit the Farm Bubba channel homepage for more videos, and while you're there, please subscribe to the channel and ring the notification bell to be notified when the next video posts. Be sure and leave a comment below to let us know what you thought of this farm build, ask us any questions about what we did here today, and be sure and leave a suggestion for any future videos that you'd like to see. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.